And welcome back to Mzanzu. We're back again. It is that time where we have to talk about some of the things that are happening around us. I know it's been a while, and guess what?
It's been a long
We are coming with the flu.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can hear from my voice, and probably you can hear also Nemel's voice. One of us, at some point upon shooting, we probably transferred to each other. I don't know how, but yeah, you know these things. I'm not a doctor myself, but yeah. Silana Gebafwit. I've been getting a lot of people saying that, yeah, man, did you look at the interview? I didn't want to talk about the interview, but because, I mean, I'm loyal, not only to you, also to this case, we must give our view.
You think so?
Respectfully, whether we agree or disagree, we must. It has nothing to do with anyone, but it has to do with what we are thinking and what do we share in terms of our opinion. Maybe we might find each other, maybe we might not. But we have to talk about this interview that Teffo did with Patricia. And if the theory really sticks as our opinion, because this is all opinion. I mean, all of us at the end of the day, we are only giving public information, and no one is in that particular special when it comes to this. But we are going to deal with it in a manner that I think we will both be satisfied. I mean.
Yeah.
Right. Greetings. It's been a while. We know, but we are here. Hey, no gulagenako. It took a toll on me. Vele. I was not feeling well. Happy this flu is somehow.
It's the weirdest one I have had.
Yeah. So the fact that I'm here, that would mean that I'm doing a bit better. I guess Iron Brew is doing what it's supposed to do. Is it Iron Brew? Ginger.
It's not Iron Pro.
Oh, it's ginger. Yes, it's ginger. So I also have it on my side. It's stone. Yeah, it's stone. I also have it here with me. So don't mind me. I might be drinking something. I'm not drinking a bad one, a bad concoction. I'm drinking just a simple one. That is going to help me deal with this flu. Yes, Emily. How are you doing?
Hey guys, it's been a while since we were live, hey? I'm happy. I'm happy to be back. Thank you guys for joining us yet again for another live stream, okay, of coverage of the Senzo Meyiwa trial news related, whatever is happening, because it's going to resume on the 15th of April, the court proceedings. But for now, what has been happening on social media is news came out in February. I didn't report on them.
Yeah.
I decided to leave it alone because I felt like Nabanung, I'm getting confused. Mr. Anonymous, I feel like I'm going insane.
I think we are not. I'm not gonna lie about this case. When it comes to this case, I don't think I would ever be. I would ever say I'm confused anymore. Maybe there was a time where things were not clear to my head, but not now.
Hopefully, it will help us.
I mean, we need to be able to decipher the noise, and maybe there are other confusions that are being created on purpose, so that. But I mean, it's not difficult to actually dissemble what is supposed to happen, what is logically correct.
And the news I've been avoiding is the news pertaining a Longwe's alleged statement or affidavit that was taken by Advocate Teffo while he was in custody last year.
Yeah, we didn't cover that. We just let it slide. We were like, we discussed it, and we said no. Let us leave it.
Yeah, and during that time, we were still covering the main trial.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I was like, I feel overwhelmed. I still have to search, put the pieces together. At the time, I really struggled. I was like, no, I will see what the story develops into. But now that Patricia has done an interview with Advocate Teffo, it looks like some of the pieces are coming together.
Yes.
Some of the pieces are coming together. So Longwe THWALA has opened a criminal case against Malisela Teffo, and Longwe opened a case of fraud against Advocate Teffo at Douglasdale Police Station in Randburg on the week of the 17th of February to the 21st of February 2025. I don't have the exact date, but it was around that week. And in the case opened by Longwe, this case is alleged to have been opened by Longwe against Advocate Teffo. And he claimed that Advocate Teffo wrote an affidavit purporting to be him and implicating him in the Meyiwa murder. And the affidavit was dated the 15th of November 2024. Claimed that Longwe admitted to shooting the firearm as a warning shot to Zandi and leaving the house, and that Kelly Khumalo is the one who shot Senzo by what is alleged to have been a mistake, and that ended up killing Meyiwa at his girlfriend's house, the Spaza house in Vosloorus, on October 26, 2014. And in this affidavit, you guys, Longwe explains that he brought the illegal firearm to the house where
allegedly,
he found...
because I mean it is alleged.
Allegedly.
There's a bit of a dispute, and you are saying...
Yeah, there is a dispute because now a case has been opened against Advocate Teffo by Longwe, supposedly to say that he's not the one who wrote the affidavit. But Advocate Teffo insists that Longwe is the one who wrote the affidavit.
Yeah.
And he was there when he was taking it down from him. He even said they had witnesses.
Yeah.
So Longwe brought an illegal gun to the house where he found Meyiwa, Khumalo, Zandi, Kelly, and Makumalo. So Makumalo, Zandi, Kelly, Tumelo Madlala, Mthokozisi THWALA, and they had an argument with Zandi, and this is how Advocate Teffo narrated it in Patricia's life. I'm going to recall from my head because it's a lot. So I'm going to take it from the time where they are saying that Longwe entered the house. According to Advocate Teffo and what he purports in what Longwe said in the affidavit as he was taking it down. So he's saying that Longwe entered the house with the firearm, and they ended up having an argument with Zandi because now Longwe wanted to know who these two intruders were, referring to Mthogo and Tumelo.
Intruders.
To Longwe, it seemed like those two people were the intruders.
Okay.
Because Longwe was not familiar with these two gentlemen. To him, they were intruders in his girlfriend's mama's house.
Mm.
So he walks in and he asks Zandi about these two gentlemen, and then Kutiwa, an argument ensued because Longo was even saying to Senzo that you shouldn't give these women or these guys to my woman. I don't know what's going on here. Are you setting them up to date or something like that? And then an argument ensued, and then they are saying that Longwe shot the floor as a warning shot. Then after shooting the floor as a warning shot, the bullet perforated the floor. And by the way, the firearm that is being spoken about in this affidavit is a revolver. So after it hit the ground and left the hole, they are saying that Senzo and Longwe now got into it because Kelly told Senzo to disarm Longwe of the firearm. Right? So getting Longwe to disarm the firearm and take it away from him, Senzo managed to do it. He did it. Senzo took the firearm away from Longwe and gave it to Kelly and pushed Longwe out of the house, out of the street even. Right?
Yeah.
Mr. Adams, you have to help me out.
Yes. You. So far, so good.
So after pushing him to the street, Longwe stayed there outside. Senzo went back into the house, the Spaza house. And when he got into the house, he told Kelly to bring the firearm back, the revolver. And then they said that Kelly was playing with it as she was giving it back to Senzo and said, Ngizogu, yabo, playing with it. And as she was handing it over back to Senzo, Senzo got shot. And the bullet perforated the lung and the heart and went through the back and hit the door handle of the kitchen.
Okay.
I'm going to pause here. Did I explain it correctly?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. And then from there, what ended up happening is that Longwe was outside. So Longwe did not see the shooting of Senzo by Kelly. When they asked Advocate Teffo, how did he know? Advocate Teffo said Longwe told him that it was told to him what happened while he was outside. Right?
Yeah.
Let me try and see if I haven't left anything out. This theory, guys, Mina, it's taking me back. I'm getting confused all over again. So because Senzo's back was against the door from the kitchen, the bullet hit the lung and the heart of Senzo. So Teffo said that in his file, the post-mortem was in color. It was not in black and white. It was in color. And he saw the hole on the lung and the heart. So he said the lung is a sensitive organ, extremely sensitive, that even if you poke it with a needle, that in its own can cause you death, right? Just perforation of the lung is enough. You can die from that. And that is why the doctor said that if the person was alive after that bullet had riddled their lung and heart, the longest time that they would have survived would have been 10 seconds, but the longest he could have survived could have even been 20 seconds.
Okay.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Are you following?
I am following. So
Advocate Teffo also said that after that shot was fired, Longwe was still outside. And he came running. And that's how he found Senzo slumbered there on the floor. And he didn't see Kelly shooting. So I'm struggling. Because now, to me, all of this is a new puzzle that I have to put together. Part of what makes it new to put together is now I'm thinking Bontabiseng's testimony about seeing people running outside. Who was running outside now? If Longwe was waiting outside after being pushed outside.
Look, I think it is easy to say these things, and I'm gonna say it. In my own opinion, this is my opinion. I don't believe in that theory.
Why?
I can never believe in that theory, and I have many reasons.
Why don't you believe it? Okay, let me continue with it.
This theory seems to suggest, before you continue, I don't know what you're gonna continue with.
I wanted to continue with the rest of the points, but it's fine. I can cover them after you've shared why you disagree. Tell us why you disagree.
No, continue then. Finish them.
The first theory was that Senzo was shot by mistake because that is what Mtogo told Senzo's sister. I don't know if he meant Tumelo or both Tumelo and Togo. Apparently, they called Senzo's sister on that very same night after that incident, and they told her that he was shot by mistake. And he said that Kelly's phone was never stolen. Even Kelly herself can vouch that her phone was never stolen. They also mentioned also that Longwe never said that he was disputing the affidavit. It's only his father, Mr. CHICCO THWALA, who is disputing that affidavit. And Advocate Teffo is saying that he has been disputing that affidavit from the very beginning, as if he was there with Longwe in prison, and while he did not even have control of Longwe while he was in prison. So Advocate Teffo said that he took care of Longwe as well in prison. He even mentioned that he was buying him 2 loaves of bread because the food that they were receiving was not enough and it would finish at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So they had to wait until the next morning to get the next meal. And Longwe had a very huge appetite. And he also said that prison is heaven for illegal substances. And he said that inside they are free. Longwe enjoyed prison more than any other thing, living or either than living with his own dad. So Teffo said that he wanted Mgomezulu to hand over this affidavit that he had taken of Longwe inside prison. And now Mgomezulu unfortunately has passed on, and Longwe wanted to use that affidavit to testify. He said that there's no way Longwe can escape testifying, right? The defense may never call him. However, he also mentions that Advocate Baloyi might also never call Kelly and Kelly's mother because they don't want to testify according to the state or according to what Advocate Baloyi may want them to testify allegedly, and they want to speak their own truth, not the truth that is needed by Advocate Baloyi. And I feel like I'm starting all over again. I don't know, guys.
Okay. Then let's start here.
Okay.
I'm just going to start where you ended.
Yeah.
You are saying, Teffo is saying,
Yes.
is alleging that both Zandi, Bo Kelly and the mother might not be called because they don't want to follow a certain narrative.
Yes.
That is not true to what they know.
Yes.
So they want to testify according to their ability and what they remember.
Yes.
Okay, I guess Kalela. What that is suggesting is that this family of Kumalos is saying then Zandi then accepted going and testifying, right?
Yes, she has. Twice.
Okay, if that theory for status was anything to go by, what this thing is suggesting is that Zandi might have had more to lose when it comes to this case. Because why would he say, okay, I'm going to leave my family if they don't want to come and testify the way advocate, or the way Baloyi wants us to testify? What would be that itching? Because from the theory that is given here, it seems to suggest that the person who's in trouble is Kelly. More than Zand.
Yes.
It exonerates Zand.
Yes.
More than anything.
Yeah.
If anything, the only thing that Zandi would be worrying about is maybe if the theory was true, telling them the lie about who shot Senzo. That is the only thing.
Yes.
But then Zandi is in court. He's seen making, and in fact, he's actively involved, if you ask me, trying to explain and at some point one can say agitate people who believe otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much, yes.
So Zandi had nothing to lose. Why did he take the first chance that he got to come and testify and actually leave or de-associate with the family, if one might put it like that, and not go with the theory of a family? If Zandi, other than not telling the truth or not actually saying who they saw shooting Senzo, according to this theory, why would he be forthcoming when it comes to these things?
I don't know.
Because if you flip that theory and say, okay, from your analysis of what you've been watching this family, how they've been seemingly fighting, if you man might assume that they might have been fights and all that, you know, and if the what do you call the shooting as Kelly, that those episodes,
The reality
TV show, yes. Why would he be so interested in this that much? You know, then one might, if you flip that theory and say, okay, maybe a person who's got more to lose is the one who was easy to penetrate and talk to, and have that person then accept whatever terms that were given, if the theory of there is a certain theory that is being pushed by Baloyi, as Teffo is alleging, which is not in line with what happened in that house. The person who jump into that opportunity is the person who's got more to lose. That's my theory. That's the first submission.
Yes.
So that's number one. Okay. Now let's go to the first incident. Longwe is fighting with Senzo. Senzo disarms Longwe, and then after disarming Longwe, and this is where the theory has flaws.
Please explain, because manje...
You disarm Longwe, you still have time to give, while Longwe is still inside after disarming him, that gun to Kelly. And then you still have time to push Longwe out. You know, it's like it's in slow motion. You disarm this man after a struggle. I doubt it was a quick thing. After a shooting, I mean, the adrenaline is... But you are so calm to such an extent that you take a gun after disarming this person, you give it to Kelly.
Yes.
And then you push the guy out.
Of the yard.
Out of the yard. And then not only that, if we believe this theory, then this guy accepts that we are pushing them out of the yard. They remain outside
Of the yard.
You definitely go inside because you are the one that who shot inside the house. You close the door. Do you understand?
Yes.
That theory does not make sense. You come inside, you close the door, you are standing next to that door when you are shot. Or it's like you pull the door, let's say not close it properly, but you pull it because it seems as if the door was pulled, right?
Yes.
Because if it was open, the bullet would have went to the wall outside.
Outside, yes.
The fence.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you pull the door and then you stand closer to that door and then you ask for a gun from someone who, if the theory of the people who are in the house and anything, that Kelly said as he was talking about, I thought he was coming to hug me and all that.
The initial theories.
The initial
way
theories.
back.
And what they are saying, Kelly was there. And then he shoots you by mistake. Just by playing with a gun. I give you, I don't give you, I give you, I don't give you. Then he shoots you. Now here's another problem other than that. Longwe waits outside as if he was waiting for something to happen according to this theory. And then when the shooting happens, Longwe, who left his gun inside, who was disarmed, who doesn't have a gun, who in his own words was saying, I was the coward of the day because I ran out.
I ran to the park.
Longwe runs inside. What does Longwe have inside that he needs to protect? Running inside when he had the gun shooting.
Isn't it Zandi?
After the fight, you fought. Zandi was standing there. After a fight, you were pushed outside, then you stand outside, and then the guy who pushed you outside walked all the way from the gate. He comes inside, and then he sort of pulls the door, and he stands on the door. Now he's shot. That takes time. And then when you hear that shooting, instead of running further away, because that could be the very same guy who was pushing you outside, taking the gun now, coming to you and shooting you, you run inside as if you know what is happening inside, why the shooting is taking place while you are outside.
I was a coward of the day.
Yeah.
Coward of the day goes back to
that
where
that is a flaw.
There is the most danger.
That is the problem with this theory. It does not have fear in it. People who are in this action, because I take it as an action, they don't have fear. And they have time for everything that is happening. With adrenaline, that is after shooting, the first shooting, you still have time to take the gun and give it to Kelly. Kelly still have time to play with the gun. As if there is no fight. Yes, as if there is no fight. As if there is no fight in the house.
Her sister almost.
No, forget about that. I know you want to twist it. You want to confuse me too. But
sorry. But I'm not wanting to confuse you. I'm picturing it.
You still have... No, think about it. There's a fight. Now, let's stick to this theory. There's a fight.
Yeah.
After a fight, a serious fight. Let's say I'm standing with you. We fight, I disarm this criminal. I push this criminal out. And then after that, you come. You are playing with a gun. You still have time to play. You have sense of humor to play. While there's a possible one can say war happening, you are playing. You push someone out. You don't know what you might come back with. You don't know how many he has, but you are playing. You are Kelly. I can, what if I shoot? What if I shoot? That theory does not make sense to me.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. While I'm on that theory, comes this person who examined the body of Senzo, who's an expert. He says the person who shot Senzo must have been standing in a position of advantage, meaning a bit taller than Senzo, because of the trajectory of the bullet.
Yes.
It got in and it went down.
Yes.
Now, Kelly, I don't think Kelly is taller than Senzo.
No, she was not.
I don't think so.
She wasn't at the time, no.
Do you understand? If you were playing with a gun, at most, the trajectory of the bullet should be going a bit higher because you are shorter, shooting up. Let's say that was the case. But no. In this case, it started up, it went down. Meaning the person who was shooting was in a higher position, a bit higher, taller than Senzo, as they said. Even Mangena says that. I mean, we might not believe in most of Mangena's theory. We disagreed a lot. But that is a fact because the bullet is there, the hole is there.
And he did not dispute Dr. Steenkamp as well.
To such an extent that there were even theories that were made that what would have happened if Senzo was shot in a scuffle, standing almost horizontal as you are scuffling, and then the shooting happens just under, and then the bullet doesn't, obviously the hole is not going to go straight. It's going to do exactly that.
I'm trying to help our family visualize.
And that theory was disputed through a bullet that was found behind the jars. Because if that would have been the case, in fact, it was not even disputed by that.
So this is the front, and this is the back. The distance is like this.
Yes.
So that means the bullet that got in came from a tall person.
Yes.
A short person, it would have perforated up.
A bit, yes, going up.
A bit like this.
Yes.
So I hope it helps.
So you cannot, with this theory, you cannot change what is there, which is the hole and everything else. That is the bullet, where it went through and how it went through. You cannot change that. So that
and it changes a lot of things we've heard in court. That's my problem with it. That now we are disputing witnesses is not just in type saying. Speaking of intruders running away from the
I'm still
scene.
coming there.
Ki flabbergasted.
So that theory, just by what I've explained, it does not make sense.
Okay.
Now, let's go now to the fact that conveniently, Teffo goes to jail.
Okay.
And then Longwe goes to jail.
Later.
Much later, I know.
Yeah.
But then Teffo comes out later on, which Longwe left earlier.
Yes.
Teffo comes out later on.
Yes, in December.
In December, he comes with what is purported as affidavit that was written by Longwe, a person who was free, who was outside, roaming outside, doing more, whatever that he was doing. Lord knows. He could have submitted that affidavit himself.
Longwe.
Yes. That's one thing that we also have to look at. Well, let's say he comes out, he has a change of heart then, because when you are inside there, you start thinking like a holy person.
Yeah,
well,
surviving.
Well and good. Therefore, comes with it.
He was surviving.
Now, what do we do with the theories that we have had now? The theory of Longwe. I ran out. I was a coward of the day. I left my phone. I actually went out with my phone. It was a long theory that we talked about, we disputed. The theory of Ntogo, that even if you dispute some of the things and how it was eventually changed in terms of the entrance of the Ngashes.
Yes.
But there is no dispute that Ntogo did go to Ngashes. Therefore, seems to suggest that there was no such, according to the theory that he's giving us now.
Yes.
After the shooting, there was this meeting, people were called, and then the new arrangement was made. But the statement of Ngashe family, in fact, the father, I'm inclined to trust the father more than any other statement that was there.
Remember, the father also spoke on the documentary.
Yes. He says
that Netflix documentary.
Yes, he saw the white, which is in line with what Senzo was wearing.
A white t-shirt.
A white t-shirt
window.
Through the window. Then
the kitchen
right after that there was shooting. And then while he was watching that shooting, then there was someone who jumped. the wall, and he went out to address that someone with his son. This is something that did not take long, according to this explanation. If you ask me, so
it's like with this alleged version of Longwe, it didn't even happen.
Yes, it nullifies that theory. This statement that the Ngashe family, the Ngashe father, it was fought. This statement, they did not want the statement there. And for me, it is once they fight, for me, it's enough to believe that statement. You know? And then you are saying, no, that is not the case.
And the theory of Togo also running away cannot completely be erased because Ntogo has testified.
He accepted that theory.
He accepted the theory.
The only difference is where he entered.
Yes.
He said initially he jumped the wall.
He jumped the small gate,
A small gate,
at
yes.
the front of the Ngaches.
And then later on, he actually did not jump the gate, ne?
Yeah, he jumped the paving next to it, still the front.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's a theory.
The small stop nonsense there by next to the small gate. That's where he says he jumped.
So you are saying Ntabi was lying.
You're also saying Togo was lying.
Fully, there is no one who ran out of that house. Ntabi was lying. Togo was lying. Even Tumelo was lying.
Yes, because Ntumelo. When Tumelo said that he ran to one of the
Yes. So in a sense, whatever happened, it happened. And also Sfiso is also like, because Sfiso talked about the issue that sometimes when he is sitting with Tumelo, he would, when he's drunk, he would start saying, "Hey, Marin, ilentwana ka CHICCO le." Ne?
He did.
Hey, Marulong, man. And then my mbuzo ukuthi, what
do you mean?
What do you mean? And then and
then he would quickly
snap out of it.
He even said that it's as if he can't speak.
Exactly.
He even takes it as far as African chemistry to say immediately after the incident. It seems like there's something they did to him where he cannot speak. It's been how many years now?
I don't dispute that among these witnesses, the theories in a form of nitty-gritties, the small parties of it, there is unreliability. But the bigger picture is that there was someone who jumped the wall. Whether it's a wall or a gate, now it's nitty-gritty, those nitty-gritties that I'm talking about. But there was someone in a Ngashe yard. And I believe that because that man who was a former police said it. And he was standing by it. And then eventually, God remembered him. As many others who were coming to tell certain stories in this case. You know, you're disputing that. You are not only disputing that, you are also disputing the theory of Ngome Zulu that said someone in that house, upon the scaffold, was shot on the foot.
Oh, yes.
Because we are saying there's two bullets. The first one that was voluntarily shot by Longwe, according to this theory, down. And then that's where the scuffle ensued when Kelly said, no, make sure, because SB is and stuff like that. Ne?
Yes.
And then Longwe was taken out.
Yes.
So that would mean that Longwe was never shot anywhere. And no one was shot on the foot.
On the foot.
Yeah, right?
It's only
the same
about
foot.
The splinters that
the same
perforated
foot. Yes.
Zandi's foot.
No. even that now, we have to now, if we were to listen, this theory now will be new. Why the theory of perforation or the particles that hit Zandi's
foot?
It is not far from the theory of someone being shot on the foot, meaning that Zandi being injured and little blood that will be found down, that is not Senzo's blood, then can be, in a sense, if you ask me, be attributed to Zandi being injured. Do you understand? Which is, in a sense, seemingly in line with there could have been someone who was more injured and that blood probably was not tested properly if it was taken. If there was a cover up, that would be a nice cover. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, you want to tell?
Yeah.
So obviously, if you lie, you must not lie far from the truth. You know, if there was someone who was shot, you're not gonna bring that person maybe who was shot, but you're gonna bring someone else and say this person was injured, but yet this person did not go to hospital and was not checked. There are no records of such person being injured because of these particles that happened when there was a shooting. But that theory is there. Just to, in my opinion, maybe it could have been there to cover a certain thing. You know? So all I'm saying is that there is truth, but you just need to sniff for what is right. Forget about it. And eventually, if you remember this judge, he tried to advise these lawyers, saying that forget about small things. Forget about saying there was a lid of a bottle down. Focus on the bigger picture. Then eventually that thing was left aside, and then we started entertaining the small thing. In this case, small things. Yeah, the door was open, was wide open, was it small things, you know. But when he was fresh, he didn't mention. We talked about it. But he's advising them in a sense in the right direction at the time.
Yeah, at the beginning, yes,
you know,
I remember.
And then later on, things just took a turn.
A sharp curve.
So, my question, Emil, is with all these theories, there's common things. There are things that do not change.
Which are?
For example, Senzo was shot.
Yes.
There's a hole, and that hole is not a straight hole.
Yes.
It does not change.
Yes.
It is in line with Ntogo jumping the wall. It is in line with what the Ngashe head is saying.
Yes.
So as the son.
Yes.
People who were not part of this. Unfortunately, others passed away.
Yeah.
It is in line with people who were in the street who saw certain people running.
Yes.
So they
running
were away from the scene. Yes.
Away from the scene towards the park.
Yes. Whether those people had beard and certain beard, which is something that you couldn't have seen when someone is running, you just focus on, and it's at night, you know, how they looked and all that. Now it's a different theory, but it is in line.
And if you want to dispute the ones who ran away from the scene and say, "Hayiko leonto leo," we have an interview of Longwe on Metro FM saying he himself ran towards the park.
Now, the question is, did he run away after shooting or before shooting? Now it's a different story. No, it's a different story now. Now that is a different story. Different. But all I'm trying to say is that there was a runaway. Right?
Yes.
Exactly. Because even these neighbors, when they came to house, they seem to suggest that they did not see Longwe in that house. You know? That is in line. Now, looking at this theory and going back and now putting a twist. And I'm going to say this. I listened to Teffo, the interview, way before he was being interviewed, I think in CNA, when he started breaking CNA. Yeah, something like that. I don't know, I'm not sure. But the theory that is actually it is E something.
Or ENCA.
ENCA.
Yes.
Yeah. The theory that is saying he's been preaching that theory. I won't lie. Even then, he seemed to have this theory that the shooting happened, but Longwe shot one shot with a gun that he came with, allegedly, which was a revolver. And then he was disarmed, and then the other shooting, we even entertained that theory.
I did.
Yes. And then
I will not even be ashamed. Yes. I did. Because, all I hear are Kelly's words from the interview haunting me as everybody wants me to be guilty. And honestly, I believed it. I was like, maybe Kelly's the one, allegedly. But now,
Sizwe, a person who wrote the Gnashe statement, the head, is the head himself. He was even there. He's there on that series.
And then the documentary.
The documentary. So the documentary is there. He's there. He wrote it.
The statement is there. Is that it can't be used in court?
They don't want
because he has passed on.
Yes, they don't want that one.
So yes, they don't.
And unfortunately, it was not taken by maybe Gininda, who's there as usual. I mean, others, if they pass away.
Way back in 2014.
Yeah. And that's an old statement. Yeah, bo? So, this theory of a mistake, Kelly, I might think about it. Think about it. Who would go to a point of protecting Kelly? Who? If according to the very same theory, she's refusing to barge in and say whatever that is supposed to be saying, then why do him favors? Why do her favors then? Why still protect her?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
If this person is not willing to barge.
That's what I've been trying to figure out for the past year now. That
why protect her?
Why protect Kelly this much?
Even Senzo does not believe that Kelly is the one.
Yeah, even Senzo Meyiwa doesn't believe.
And I don't believe too that is Kelly who killed her. I don't believe there was an intruder, but also I don't believe that Kelly is the one who pulled the trigger. I cannot.
They want her to be guilty.
No, there are many ways. But not this one. This one, in my opinion, it will eventually undermine what is currently happening. Maybe whatever little progress that has been done.
And Mngomezulu, direction, in my opinion, I felt he was headed.
This is where I have a problem. It seems this theory to suggest that Mngomezulu could have lied about Longwe, and then also having people. But why lie to such an extent that you even call the names of people and dogs? And you go to, this is where also the problem is. You listen to Patricia with this other guy.
Yeah.
Not Teffo.
They're live.
They are talking about the assistant who ran away, who's overseas, who's afraid of her life.
Yes.
Now you start seeing the contradiction.
The one who they're saying they spoke to her. And she's the one who told them that the name that was registered allegedly was
Silo's name. Yes.
You see what I mean? And they are saying they are afraid because Dr. Mabitela, I think it is,
Yes.
has passed away.
Yes.
He passed away apparently in a hotel by himself or something like that.
Stuff
Allegedly.
like that. Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, why Gabo, all this admin, all those things that they are alleging now, he passed away mysteriously. In a sense, there's this feeling that seemingly they might have been, but why that effort, that much effort, and go if there was maybe a third hand threatened people who, if there was no such surgery, for example, why? Those are the questions that you should ask yourself, because this theory is there, and it seems as if there are people who have been victim because of that theory of a surgery. That is how it seems like. Then fit that puzzle for me. Why do you have people who are just doctors doing their professions and all that, fitting the puzzle also, having victims also there, to such an extent that other people would allegedly run away from the country. Those are the things that you need to ask yourself. If ngambela le theory, because the theory it seems to suggest there was one person who was injured in that house. That person was Senzo, who eventually passed away. That's what the theory is saying. So,
guys.
I do not believe the theory that says it was a mistake that happened in the house through Kelly's hand. I don't believe that theory.
And another thing about this, it was a mistake saying. What I recall from the evidence in court, from Mr. Shoppe's statement, and from, I think there was a snippet of Senzo's sister in the documentary. Even Senzo Meyiwa said it. But Senzo udubulekile.
Yes, that's what it says. That's what it says. Senzo udubulekile.
It does it mean he was shot by mistake? The interpretation.
It could suggest that. The mistake
Sekudubulekile
Senzo, yes. The mistake can happen when you are scuffling. You don't intend to shoot, but you just want your gun to be with you. If there was a scuffle such as that, that's a mistake also, because someone pulls the gun, the trigger, and then it hits someone. That is also a mistake.
And then I also can't get over Dumelo. I know he has shown us flames, but the documentary, the first reference where the author of the book was saying that Soweto was saying that the description that was being described as Longwe was entering was that
Umtogo, who said it was as if
an angel of death
has entered.
Like
yes,
was entering.
When Longwe was entering the house, that's how it was defined by Umtogo. And we're talking about, at the time it was fresh. It was so fresh. It was very fresh. So let the order.
It says everyone was in a jokey mood. Nobody was scared. And that's the problem, I feel, in my opinion. And Mr. Anonymous, you have said it.
Yeah.
It says everyone, no one was scared.
Everyone pauses wherever they are put. We shift you to the gate, you pause there. You don't follow after that man who just pushed you, who does not have a gun, by the way, because you were inside when he gave it to the person who's in the house.
And then it speaks to also there not being any, what can I say? The only struggle or scuffle that happened was when Senzo was pushing Longwe out of the house. No other scuffle happened. While
it seems to suggest that abanye nje bebehleli phansi watching Senzo.
Yeah.
No Longwe.
Yes,
You
and
know,
some
that's
of
what
them
it
have
suggests.
not really painted such a picture. Those who've come and testified, including Lorraine herself, Zandi.
And then I cannot shake it.
Yeah.
That alleged cry of Kelly. Kodwa ngizothini kumakasenzo?
Kodwa ngizothini kumakasenzo? When you cry something like that, you don't cry out of your own doing, in my opinion. You are crying because something
was done by someone.
True.
Yes. Now, number 2.
Because I know I reference it a lot when I'm guarding other people's children. I'm like, but should anything happen to you, what am I going to tell your mom?
Mother, yes, because
you understand what I'm
you're
saying?
in my house or you're under my...
Yes.
All right. Any that we should look at. A person who called CHICCO. It is alleged. In fact, it's not even alleged.
Yes.
They are saying it's Kelly, right?
Yes, Dumelo testified that it was Kelly.
Okay. Because Kelly was not in a panic mode that much. Oh, I mean, you can be shooting someone and be like, oh, the first person I'm going to call is
your father, Longwe.
Why would you call someone's father?
Longwe was there.
Why would you call someone's father? You just shot someone yourself. Why would you call someone's father? You shoot someone and he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to call Emily's father because why? Why? You should be devastated. You should be devastated. More so if it's a mistake and you know it's you.
Yes.
Kelly was not going to be able to drive for starters.
No.
If that was. Yes.
No. If she wasn't going to be able to drive.
I know that we look at her as this person, but honestly speaking, when there's a mistake that could get you into jail, one we are thinking about, it's a lot of things. And then you still have time just right after to call other people. And not just any. You know, it's not like you call your cousin or something. You direct the first call. Boom. It goes to CHICCO. And then you come here and tell me, it was Kelly's mistake.
Hi, Mina family. I don't want to lie. I'm having difficulty because I've eaten it up before in the past. And honestly, it's what I believed even before Advocate Teffo popped up. I believed maybe Kelly did it, you know. I used to believe that. But looking at how everything is unfolding, it can't be. She would not be protected to this extent. She would have been Benekant in the jail right now as we speak.
For one, and I don't think Dumelo was inside the house and no, I think they were inside. The smoking would have been done long time ago. That's why Ulokuzan Umtogo could explain the feeling he got when Longwe got into that house, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that would happen when you're sitting down and this person just knocks.
And another thing that you can also do is read the tone of voice when Tumelo was testifying and he had to talk about Longwe.
He got a bit pissed. If you ask me, it was like as if I'm a question along. I am
would rather not.
Yeah.
I would rather not talk about that young boy or that young man.
But then when he's invited to talk about Kelly, now and then he talks, and then later on you say when he feels cornered, he'll be like, no, Kelly will come and testify. That's a difference also.
Yeah.
People are willing to speak on behalf of Kelly.
Kelly, yes.
But they are not willing to speak on behalf of Longwe. Once you touch Longwe, everything in that court, in my opinion, it trembles. Everyone starts, objection after objection. But you can ask questions about Kelly. Where was Kelly? Where did he run to? Zandi explained. Everyone explained.
She's being connected to the accused right now as we speak. She's being connected.
Yes.
By the phone calls, by the what?
Do you understand?
But Kelly's name in that court
is okay now these days.
It
can be dropped in any case.
A very important cheese.
The very same case that we are having right now, it says Kelly is a mastermind.
Yes.
Yet, okay, we're dealing with a case that does not have a mastermind in a sense, in reality. But in court, Ginindi has been throwing that mastermind issue.
That Kelly
willy-nilly
allegedly is the mastermind.
So why would they not flip on her? I mean, a lot of things would be easier. For example, if let us say this theory, let's say this theory of an intruder, someone who came with a gun, it's true. Not an intruder, the person who came with a gun, not an intruder. Because the theory of intruder, I think we're long past that. You can always say, I didn't come with any gun. Kelly had her gun. Kelly had a lot of motive. It was easy to create.
The gun is not there after all.
It was easy to create a story of why Kelly could have shot Senzo. Senzo was about to leave, for example, go to his wife and the party and all that. Then Kelly got angry. He decided to come with a gun that we don't know where he got it. Maybe even these people that are arrested now for being intruders, they could have been the supply. They were going to create the story was going to be an easy one, not a complicated one.
No.
So next thing we saw Kelly going to the bedroom. He comes back with a gun, and then he tries to stop Senzo, and Senzo does not want to stop, and then boom. Yabo? The theory is straightforward. Then Longwe is out of all this.
Yeah.
Longwe is out of all this.
Very simple.
The theory is complicated to such an extent that Longwe's father's gun had to be tested. Do you understand?
Taken in for ballistics, yes.
Exactly. And then you still tell me that all that, it could be because he had two guns, one legally, one illegal. I can never dispute anything of that. I don't even want to get into those merits. But it could be true, it could be false. I don't know. But all I'm saying is that a theory to pin Kelly and exonerate everyone was easy.
Yeah.
An angry girlfriend, concubine. It was very...
didn't want to let go.
It was very easy.
And lose.
Very easy.
So she decided, no, if I can't have him, no one else can have him. And then that would have been much simpler looking back 10 years ago. But hey.
Yeah.
There's been hitmen. Now we are here sitting with hitmen 5.
There's even
accused.
A theory of a person. There was an arrest of a neighbor and all. A theory of a person. In fact, a theory of a shooting and when it happened. It's mystery even today. How long did that body take sitting down there? It's mystery. They probably, one can argue that there was a serious planning.
I remember we covered the case.
Yes.
Look at how the state was not wanting for it to be clear that when Senzo arrived at the hospital, was he dead or alive, or was he pronounced dead at the hospital? We are still not clear in that department.
We are told that there was a pumping and that happened.
There was a pumping. The witnesses were
seeing
pumping. So,
guys, are you saying that she is that powerful?
It's not clear. Is Kelly that powerful, guys? Are you giving her that much power?
If really Senzo was dead within 20 seconds or so, that the whole doctor would write, we did pump, or whoever was pumping there, doing whatever that he did. That information is not even there, in fact, as to what happened. The account of that hospital is not there.
The doctor who declared or made the declaration that they passed on, they haven't even been called to come and testify. It is just a lot of gaps.
No, man. I love how this case started, and people who started, I respect them. But some point we will disagree. In this case, I disagree. I disagree. I don't think that the shooting happened through the hand. Yes, I think there's a case to answer for, in my opinion.
And when it comes to Kelly and everyone else who was in that house.
And everyone else was in that house who has come to testify, there's a case to answer for that. But, and I've been saying that. But, gay, enyinto, aye. And what baffles me is, then we talk about the investigation and then some independent investigation, and then there was this recent fight of Teffo and CHICCO.
Yes.
And
that also is
and then they talk about your thousands and whatnot, and
1,000 rand. He said he sent him 1,000 rand after he went to meet him.
Yes. That, to me, I looked at it from the far and I was like, 1,000 rand. I questioned that.
That's too little, though.
I questioned that also. I questioned why was even such? You know, I remember talking to Teffo here. We were puzzled at some point when he had a statement and said
to record.
We were puzzled when he said.
I was just like,
we were disturbed. The whole people who were here in the channel, we were disturbed when he said.
Thrown off. I'm like, what?
There was a point. There was a part. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. But there was a part where he was like, he said, I think CHICCO is a good person. Said it like that.
Yeah, and we were shocked.
And I was like, okay. No, we're not saying he's not a good person.
No, we're not saying he's not a good person, but that is a conclusion to make.
You know,
it's a conclusion to make after you've spent time with someone.
And then you'll understand, because he's saying he investigated himself. So, yes, guys, what we say, what we think, actually, I cannot say most of the things that I think here, but that is disturbing in my spirit, you know. I try to get closer to it and see. Some of the things are even difficult to say here. So that's why we would come and say what we need to say. In my opinion, I will always say what is in the public eye. But in my opinion,
prefer working with public information.
I can never
do exclusives and all of that.
Agree.
I can't do it.
I disagreed with that theory a long time ago. I mean, we disagreed here.
Yeah, we argued about it. I was like, Kelly did it. Kelly did it. Kelly
I'm not a defender of Kelly.
Kelly, Kelly. I was that person, guys. I'm not even going to lie. But I have followed the proceedings day by day. And seeing the police officers acting that man. Guys, you want to tell me that Kelly is that powerful?
That's a question that we keep on asking.
Aye.
That's a question that we keep on asking. And then you hear, I mean, artists, sometimes they have money, sometimes they don't. It does happen. If you're gigging, you gig, get money. But when the pockets are deeper, man, you cannot hide away from that. You know?
Aye.
But
you imagine.
But
I don't know what is happening in that court.
And the feeling of Kelly when he throws these shades that he throws,
Yeah, she likes throwing a
you
lot
can
of...
tell that he's got nothing to lose in a sense. He's giving you that thing, I've got nothing to lose. If you want to come.
She's giving that attitude.
Exactly. You don't give that attitude if you've got something to answer for and you're being covered that much.
I remember there was a time she was advertising her alcoholic brand, and she did a video and everybody was like, she's drunk in that video, and she was doing some Russian accent. She was talking about how the justice system, she was really lambasting the justice system of the country.
Can you lambast something that is protecting you that much, like that?
And that you're taking advantage of.
But again, before you, you've got your opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. Should we open the lines? This is a sensitive, because people...
No, it's not sensitive. It's not. We can open the lines as Hlebi. We're not speaking badly about anybody. We're just delivering the news.
I think in my side, I just disagree with the theory that I've heard now. Let's see. Zandi, hello. Zandi, hello. Zandi, hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? We can hear you. How are you? Oh, guys. Okay, let me warn you. Guys, we have a problem with the cell phone. We cannot interact with you and you'll be able to hear us. The cell phone does not take now our voice. Talk what you want to say. Zandi, hello.
Hello?
Yeah, you see? He cannot hear us.
The line is bad. Can't hear anything.
No,
hello?
Just say what you need to say. It's okay. It's fine. We can hear you. The phone has a problem. So it does not take our sound back to you.
The phone is broken, in other words. It does not take the speaker, I think.
Yes.
Of the caller.
It does not. It
the
can,
receiver.
Yes.
Oh, God.
So, but we can hear you.
But we can
put
hear
your opinion.
What you need to do is just speak.
Yeah, don't wait for us to...
Yeah, don't wait for us to respond. Just say your piece, and then we can hear what you're saying. It's just that you won't hear us. Oh, God, I had even forgotten you guys. You see, problems are made.
Zanzi, hello.
Okay, I heard your advice, so I'm just going to speak into the wind, and I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes.
Yeah, this topic is very difficult. It's sort of sensitive and not sensitive. I will first start off by talking about Kelly. I think a lot of the things you guys mentioned, that if really Kelly kwakuyena owenze lesigameko or lesigaga, ngabe lo mshika awukho, because uKelly amandla akanawo njengobaba kwaloya mfana, yabo. So angikholwa ukuthi ngabe khona inkinga lapho, yabo. Ngabe kade phela ngabe usephumile futhi nakwi-parole kuyimanje, yabo. Ulongwe, njengoba Mr. Anonymous you were saying, why give the statement to Teffo? He can even tonight ahambe aye police station, give it to Keninda and give me statement sack, So it's very confusing. Why give it to Teffo? And then just I knew Teffo, and then Teffo after elwa uphume ejele, all of a sudden useyaphuma ejele, yabo kufish nje manje usine statements alongwe. Yeah, so it's quite fishy. I heard you ubukhala ngendaba yalongwe ngesikhathi ekhuluma kule interview ukuthi he was a coward of the day. Ngesikhathi it's the coward of the day, I don't think it really matters because we're going to interview, so he can really say anything he wants at that time. So I'm not really concerned too much about that part. Just one more thing on Teffo before I move on to the judge here. Therefore, whenever he's in an interview, I get very scared, in your Sabu Teffo interview, because in my eyes, he is a loose cannon. Because you find he's had some shady things to say about Mshololo. So during that interview with Usis Pets Lapayana, I was happy their connection was bad because I was very scared. We would see he might just say the wrong thing about the current defense team because I'm sure bitter about how things ended for him in that case. So I was a bit scared. We would see Yini Enye Azoisho. I must say, after watching some videos of other people, including Opets the last few days, I'm really happy with the way the defense has handled the case. They've not been pushed by the media or social media. I would say, no, do this, do that. They've actually been going through the evidence because some of the things that goes out online isn't really true. So now they're actually doing the work. They're digging and bringing in things where they have backup evidence for. There was a while where Gakunya Motum Chiago is a foreigner or is he not a foreigner? They didn't touch any of that. They didn't go too much on Chiago until they have proper evidence. And they still have a chance to talk about some things that we complain about, they haven't spoken about. They haven't brought in any of their case. Cases states, believe it or not. And already people are really upset. They don't fight this. They are getting their chance. They're going to get their chance to put on a defense. And as it stands now, there's like 1,000,001 reasons why those guys must be released immediately. But Moba Sine Judge, abnormal. This case is still ongoing. And then there's one other thing I want to mention. That part about Utubulegu Senzo. I think when they're in court, it's very hard to translate Izulu. So how do you translate Utubulegu Umuntu? Because we know as about Zulu, Utubulegu suggests was an accident. But to translate Ganjani, so but very much in Katolo, Senzo got shot. Spanbani said Senzo got shot. But yes, in Zulu, actually, Ganjani. So it doesn't mean that. Just one thing we definitely can mention about, did the doctor really say Senzo was dead within like 10 seconds? I don't remember him saying like 10 seconds. Anyway, thanks for your time. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, and then thank you for taking our advice. We could hear you properly.
So if you want to call in recommendation that you do that.
Just shoot. Yes. So I don't remember the time that the doctor said could be the maximum time. I'm not sure, but there was.
The doctor, what I remember is 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yes, it's 10 minutes. It was 10 minutes.
But then advocate for saying 10 seconds. Maybe he made a mistake.
Yes. Yeah, maybe made a mistake. But it was 10 minutes max na corner. Better if you are strong, gym.
You're that strong and fit.
We are fit like Senzo was fit. Yeah. Maximum was 10, and what mattered in that is not whether 10 seconds, 10 minutes. What would matter is that if that theory was taken in other courts, then that would suggest that Senzo was dead by the time he arrived at the hospital. That was the point that was driven there. Yes, he said the doctor talked about 10 minutes. So I guess let's hear what you guys want to say. And you see, the problem is, there could be forces, who are leeching, and they're saying, okay, you guys want this person, we'll give you this person, come hell or high water. I can't shake that feeling of, where I feel like we are being given. More than anything, you ask me, be it umtogo, no mutumelo, no mubani, or tubula, lapa other than ukeli, I can tell you the community, it wants Kelly. We don't care that much about Ngambela who pulled the trigger. The satisfaction. If you are honest with ourselves, the satisfaction.
I know girl has been.
The satisfaction would
she
be.
has been up there.
We will get that much satisfaction if Simbona lapa kogele zingu. vele yona lento nami I cannot lie about it. It is there.
Let me also, like, now that I think of why I kind of step back from thinking that Kelly's the one who did it. I remember at the beginning, do you guys know that actually she was supposed to be arrested along with the 5 accused? There was reports in the media that were reporting that she is going to get arrested.
There was such news.
Yes, and it never happened. So from the beginning, it has always felt like Kelly
is owing us that arrest. Yes. She owes us that arrest.
Yes.
That's a feeling. And everyone,
So,
even myself included. There is that feeling of
and if I'm a police officer and I want this person, and every time I keep missing, I keep missing, it doesn't change the fact that I want them in that courtroom.
Yes.
As an accused.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's part of the reason why I'm like, I don't know.
I think others, it has to do with morals also. Others feel that I think it was a part of this union that was not even supposed to take place because there was Mandisa.
Yes, in the marriage.
So
you got in the middle of a marriage and you not really broke, but you know how we feel.
There's that feeling. I mean, according to Kasi Veles, there's that feeling. So, nayeka kumsiza ukukhuluma kwakhe.
Yeah,
kuyacika shema kuyacika ukukhuluma kwakhe. I won't lie to you, it irritates the hell out of
and
every time you go.
Yes, the community.
Ngazuthi all the time makafuna ukhipha ingoma.
Yeah, man.
There's that thing, yabo. And it's
ulaya bani kahle kahle.
Yeah, namacula ke now.
They're provoking people.
Rapper off. But then if you ask me, I started following Kaylee that much after this incident. And then you go back when he was new, when he was competing. There's this video that I saw. Then you look at this person. I think he has it in her, that thing, I fight fire by fire.
Yeah.
And sometimes that thing does not work.
Even on the documentary, Baka did say that she does that.
I fight fire by fire. And that aggravates people.
It does.
Yes, it does aggravate people. Not only, even myself. At some point I feel like, why do you need to talk? Why are you even talking about this person? Why won't
so
you sing? Why won't you sing your song and then you continue to do your thing until the time comes, if it will ever come?
You don't have to respond to everything. Let's wait for court.
Exactly.
But she didn't want to do that.
And then you go to
and
interviews.
As a result, now
interviews.
A majority, the whole country now wants you to be guilty.
Because also, those interviews, they didn't do justice.
No, they were messy. They were a mess.
I thought he was hugging me, only to find that he was shot. That sounded like someone who was shot facing that side and turned back, finds you in a passage.
Yeah, that also didn't help.
It did not help.
I just thought, I remember 2014-15, around that time, after that footage and that part of her story was now out, and I'm like,
you imagine Senzo, like those zombie movies, those zombie movies.
Analyzed, and I was like,
you imagine
are you sure
movies?
You're not the one who did it? Oh my God, no. What do you mean? It was almost like
he was hugging me. Or protecting me. Oh, protection. In fact, it started like that. He was protecting me.
He was protecting me. So the whole thing was going around. She was the target, and Senzo was trying to protect her.
Then later you realize perhaps why she needs to be dropped. It seems as if she cannot have. She doesn't catch up quickly. If you ask me, like, if you were to tell her you need to say it like this, she's not that person who would follow that line. She doesn't. So because of her personality also, it even makes it worse. It's one of those, it's like that kid, kanti kunani kanti pho yabona kids teaching becomes difficult kanti kunani kulungile phela is that good so it has that feeling other people are easy to come and prepare them for court but it seems as if it would be harder to deal with Kill. Yeah, so I guess these are our opinion in this thing. So
overall,
that theory for
the
those who are asking,
affidavit that belongs to Longwe.
I'm not sure. You know, there's this also feeling, Yoguti. There are wars that needs to be settled sometimes through the very same case.
Yeah.
It has given birth to small wars. And come hell or high water, those wars will be settled, you know. So not everything is gonna fly with us this side because you know we are only dealing with what is in public.
Yes.
We do not know what happens behind the curtain. Only people who are from the ring know how it feels.
And we draw conclusions based on what they choose to share. You understand? We don't know what's happening with everyone involved in this case behind the
scenes.
So
others have been maybe bruised and then they're not going to take it lying down.
Yeah.
You know, there's that feeling. I also, that's why I'm saying some of the things I don't talk about because sometimes you look at them, you're like, but this is probably something that you should be left for two people to settle or three people to settle. And I don't want to be involved with that. Because I'm only dealing with what is in the public. Even if it's in the public now, when you read it and it doesn't resonate, you're like,
should I be reporting on this?
No.
Should I give an opinion? Sometimes it honestly feels like it's too soon to even have an opinion.
Sometimes we sit down and talk about it, we're like, nah. We have done that a lot, actually. And you guys think, hey, these people are not... we do. Like,
and then we're not gonna share this one. It's a mess.
Because when you look at it now, it must be fitting. So if it's
and
not,
also, the police have confirmed this case. They are saying that they're investigating a fraud case which was opened for further investigations. However, no arrests have been made. Okay, the so-called case that is against Advocate Teffo by Longwe. There's no arrests that have been made as yet. So, yeah.
No, guys, that is it from me. Pinkin Love, thank you guys. Sizwe, thank you. Charlie, thank you. Let me see. It's been a while. Queen of South Africa, thank you. Spamasu, thank you. Mamela, thank you. Skunana. Danny, thank you. Let's see. Mlambo Design, thank you. Just going through Lisiho. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you guys. This is Nomcebo Kamile Jangamandla. Thank you for being here. Farai, thank you. Ntanta Manata, thank you. Metum Shanga, thank you. Yeah, you guys were here. We appreciate you. It's been a while. No one expected us. Shao, thank you. Outclass Tours, thank you. Thomas Ditau, Khauhalelwe, thank you. Siyabonga, THWALA. Yeah, Lindiwe, thank you. Loyal. Timkulu, Kulukulu, siyabonga. Skhululi, Manzini, Awu Kwabini, siyabonga. Kelebohile, our moderator, thank you very much for being here. Sikhameti, thank you. You were here. We appreciate you. Norman. Oh, Norma. Thank you. Said Norman.
Norma.
Darwin. Laura, our member. Darwin, our member. Thank you.
Hi, Darwin.
All the way from, what is this? Is this Britain?
It's Australia.
Australia. Yeah, it's Australia. These flags are similar. Siziba, thank you. Queenie, Siziba, thank you. Didi Talks, thank you. We appreciate you. And again, Bafwetu, thank you again for being here with us. This was a difficult one.
Yeah, this one was hard, guys. It was.
Fiso Sindani, our member. Thank you.
It's not easy to feel like you are disagreeing with your, you know.
You know, Teffo holds a high position in this case.
Yes.
As far as
it doesn't feel,
it is
doesn't
starting
feel nice.
and then how it shaped up. Almost 60% of it, I would say. It's because of him.
Yes.
We are where we are today
because of Advocate Tiff.
Yeah. So it is hard to say, I don't believe in that theory.
It's very difficult.
Coming from Teffo. That is why it was a difficult one.
It's hard.
It is hard. Right. But ge, I no hard feelings. Tembile, mkwana zindonga, ziyaduma. Thank you. Siyabonga. Bafethu, akubexosa ukubele. Please don't forget to like, guys.
Yes, don't forget to like, to comment, to share, to subscribe.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.